Hello again, it's Professor McCartan on another topic, perpetual mapping. Now, I will tell you that I have used this quite a bit in the marketing world. It is heavily used in understanding and defining some information out there, typically to compare different products and brands across normally two or more dimensions. So we will look at the two common approaches used in perpetual mapping, and they are to collect that collection of similar data and then preference data. Let's go ahead and dive into that. So similarity data, we look at mapping of similar data first, just because it's a little bit simpler. Test subjects are presented a list of brands, and they're asked how similar they think each brand is to each other along a dimension. The dimensions are often product attributes. So if I were to be comparing 5 different well-known colleges, and maybe I would be using the dimension of price and quality. You could then plot the response on a graph. The vertical axis of the graph may depict the price with high on one end and low on the other end, and then the horizontal axis of the graph may depict the quality with low on one end and high on the other end. So the respondents then would answer, and it would be plotted in the graph, which then the plotted graph would come together, and you would be able to see the consumer's perception where the similarity lies. Now, preference data is one that we use quite a bit in the market research world as well. And here's an example of one here. So let me explain this one a little bit here. So you can collect data based on a comparison of two products, ranking on several different products. For example, subjects may be asked to compare a product A, B, and C, and D with taste along a certain dimension, and then nutrition. So in that aspect, same exact thought process. We would have the more nutrition, less nutrition, more taste, less taste there, as you see. So then subjects would then prefer and share which one they prefer over B over A, or but not C, or prefer over D, or all of the above. And then you'll be able to find the ideal attribute mix by looking at the map. So for example, the preferences may cluster around a certain quadrant of the graph, representing that, as you can see here in our graph here, that more taste and less nutritious is the response to what the individuals answered on their questions. So that kind of gives you that thought process of, okay, that is where individuals are looking for, let's say, a snack food, so to speak. So when we look at perpetual mapping, it is a marketing research technique used to compare different product brands across the two or more dimensions, and a typical technique on that is mapping similarities between the product received by the research subject. Another technique is compared, just like we compared our snack there just a minute ago, on brands based on research subject preferences, ranking of those questions or preferences out there to the product. So for instance, the nutrition and or taste to those two dimensions, and that gives you that information. So preference mapping may be able to tell us as marketers how the mix of attributes are desired, and will help us define how we would set forth a product and or even how we would communicate what the product was all about. Until next time, this is Professor McCartan on Perpetual Mapping. Take care.